guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Leslie and I like to post lifestyle, budgeting, and motherhood type of content here on the Mother Plan. So y'all, it is February 28th, so we are going to be closing out our budget. Basically just going over our expenses for week 4 of February, and that's everything right here. Y'all, I had a lot of transactions, but as you can see by the colors, majority of the spending went towards bills, so that's just something that I cannot help. But I'm going to go ahead and go over each individual transaction, so let's go ahead and go to the calendar view. Alright, I got my highlighters off to the side, and these are the ones that I'm using. I will link it down in the description box. And by the way, I finally started a Amazon storefront. So instead of me putting each individual link in the description box, because if I'm using this one video, using something else one video, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but I did finally open up an Amazon storefront. So it will have everything that I use for all my videos, and that will be like my writing tools, all the things I use for my budget, my cash envelope wallet, my binder, and also I'm going to include the things I use for my home, because sometimes I do talk about the purchases that I get from like Aldi, or remember when I was talking about that vacuum that I wasn't supposed to buy. So all of my favorite household items I have in the list. I have everything that I use to write with. I also have a budgeting list. So from now on, if there's anything that I mentioned in the video and I say I got it from Amazon, I'm going to go ahead and just direct you guys to that link, and it'll have everything I've ever purchased and loved. If it's not something that I like, I'm not going to put it on there. Or if it's something that I purchased from a different store, I will try to find the best match item that is on Amazon. And yes, it is an affiliate link, so I do earn small commission if you click on that link and purchase anything off Amazon. It doesn't even have to be anything on my storefront in particular, but just in general. So if you click on my link and you go to Amazon and you buy anything, it will give me a small commission, which it won't cost you anything extra, but it does give us YouTubers a small kickback. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this spending. Okay, so we are covering the last week of the month, and that is going to be February 21st. And technically it ends on the 27th, but I did have one last transaction and it was on the 28th. So since it's the end of the month, I want to keep that in this month as far as budgeting. So I will include the transaction from today. Okay, so let's first get started with groceries. Now groceries, we did do 2 separate trips. I went to Aldi on the 22nd and we only spent $97. Which is awesome. And then we just went to Aldi again on yesterday and we spent an additional $34. Now this week you will notice that I did not do Walmart, just because the things that I purchased on the 20th from the week prior was enough to get us through this whole week. So I think we did pretty good on our grocery budget. Okay, and if you guys are new, my budget is $125. However, I am finding that it's a little hard to get to the $125 just because the stores are always out of things, and you know, things are a little bit more expensive. So I tried to increase my budget from $100 to $125 per week. So we were doing the 100 and it was working just fine, and then 2022 hit and then everybody and their mama decided to go up on their prices. Good old inflation. So I have been trying to adjust to the $125 budget. So some weeks you'll see I go over and then some weeks I go under, but I never spend more than what I have in my envelopes. Okay, so next up, let's go over spending. Now my husband and I, we both get $20 a week. Typically, if there's a really good paycheck, I may bump it up an extra $20, but for this week it was a standard paycheck, so we both got $20 a piece. Okay, next up is, let's do gas. I'm looking at my colors over here, so everything is color coordinated, so that's why you'll see I'm just kind of going down the list and I know which colors go to what, because I have it on this side. So next up is the gas category. So we did have one transaction for gas. It was time to fill up my truck again. which I cringe every single time. So it was $86. At least I know it's been consistent for the last 3 or 4 times I filled up. It's been about $86 each time. And I stretched it, y'all. So we got gas for the truck on the 5th. I stretched it 1, 2, almost 3 weeks. I almost made it 3 weeks. So I really don't drive the truck unless I absolutely have to, unless we're traveling, which we haven't been doing much of, and if I just have a lot to do and have the girls. Most of the time we use the car just because it's a little bit better on gas. Alright, so $86 in that category, and my husband was good because he filled up the prior week. Now, next category will be bills. This was a heavy week for bills, for real. Like, I'm talking, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different transactions for bills. So, first one came out on the 23rd, and that was for the solar panels. So that was $195. Then we also had the life insurance come out on that same day for $136. Okay. Then the very next day on the 24th, which was payday, yay, we end up putting away the $590 that we normally do for our mortgage. Then $200 came out of my paycheck for our medical insurance. And then it was also time to pay our pest control. We do pest control bi-monthly. So it seems like a lot, but if you really think about it, it's like $51 a month. So it's just the way that they do their billing every other month, and this was the month to do so. So that was $102. And on the 25th, we had the internet bill come out. Not internet, y'all. Internet did come out, but that came out on the 27th. This was Sling TV. This is what we use, which honestly, I don't even feel like I've watched much TV lately. But we do have Sling TV just in case we want to watch anything. That was $44. And then the internet and the landline, that came out on the 27th, and that was $129. Okay, that is it for all of our bills. So y'all, so far we're doing pretty good. If you can see, the blues are the must-haves. This was why I chose to have those colors be similar, just so I can know what type of spending we have been doing for that week. So far, so good, until we get to Friday and Saturday. So I have decided that I am going to start a garden this year. This is my first time attempting this. Now, I take that back. A couple of years ago, I wanted to start a garden, and I just don't know what I was thinking because I was working full time. I even bought a raised garden bed and all the things to start a garden, and then let me tell y'all, I didn't even go to the store and buy one plant, one pack of seeds, no nothing. So as you can see, I pretty much felt before I even got started, I just was way too busy. My youngest was just too little. I was working full time. I was helping out friends. It was just too much going on. So this year, being a little frustrated with the stores and trying to buy produce. Y'all know I have a vegan in the house, and my kids, they love fruits. So just trying to cut back on some of the things that we can buy, and it's always kind of good to just know where your food is coming from. So this is why I've decided to attempt to start my own garden. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have a garden, so that way I'll know who brain to pick if I start messing up on some stuff. But to get started, I had to purchase all new everything. Like even the raised bed that I did have, it was made of wood, and it just did not survive the few years that I had it. And honestly, I didn't do anything to it. I didn't take care of it. So that went in the trash. It was attracting a whole bunch of ants and bugs and all that stuff like that. So this year, I didn't have nothing. I didn't have no shovel, no gloves, no seeds, no plants, no nothing. So I went to the store this weekend, and it's like a local garden center. Not like your main stores like Lowe's or Home Depot. No, I went to like a family-owned local feed store that has just been known in this area for years and years and years. Like my dad told me where to go. So I went and I spent $74 to get seeds, and I did get a couple of starter plants, which I need to hurry up and plant. It's just the weather has been pretty bad the last couple of days. Like, fine time to start this, right? But it's been rainy and cold, and I just didn't want to like do too much too soon and then they all just die. But anyway, so I did purchase tons of seeds and soil and things like that at the feed store. And then Amazon, I purchased about $128 worth of stuff. And I think I need more, but I'm just going to kind of look at it today, and I'll let you guys know when we do our weekly check-in for next time. But I spent $128 on Amazon, and I had to buy gloves and tools and containers because I am not going to be planting in the ground. I'm going to be doing grow bags, and I just felt like that would be good just in case this doesn't work well. I'm not tearing up the soil, and I don't have to do any guesswork with pH levels and what's in my soil and all that stuff. This way I know exactly what's in there because I'm going to buy the soil and the compost and all the good things. So I know I'm rambling, but I wanted to explain these transactions because it's not it's not part of the normal stuff, right? So I'm going to mark it. Now one of these came out of the IDK envelope just because at first I didn't know what I was going to do, if I was going to just have, you know, a startup bill as far as it just, okay, the garden startup costs, and just make it be as an expense or a transaction. Then I decided, oh no, let's make it a sinking fund. That way, if it's just something I need to purchase, it will come from an exact category. So the first transaction came out of the IDK envelope because I had money left in there. And that's what it's for, things that I don't know I'm going to do until I do it. So that $128 came from there. And then from the feed store, the $74, I decided to make a garden envelope, like a garden sinking fund, excuse me. I decided to make a garden sinking fund. And already, when we get ready to stuff our envelopes, I'm going to have to account for that $74 out of the amount that I've already budgeted for, just because I couldn't wait to get started. So anyway, I know it's a lot of talking, but I did want to explain those two transactions. Last one is a donation. While we're out and about on Saturday, there were some kids kind of like, you know, fundraising for, I want to say, a football team, just kind of like one of those, I don't know what to call it, like Pop Warner maybe types of things, and they were just asking for donations. So I did give them $5, and I took that out of the miscellaneous envelope. And y'all, look at that, only one transaction was from miscellaneous. That's it, just one, and I'm super excited about that. Also, you'll notice no pink for this week. That is our family fun envelope. And if you look at the transactions, they are good as far as fast food. We did not eat out, no fast food for the whole week. I am proud of myself because as you can see, we were getting kind of carried away the week before. We had a Chick-fil-A on the 19th. We had Blaze Pizza on the 18th. Then we had Chick-fil-A on the 15th. I mean, we were going pretty crazy on the fast food. So I said, absolutely not. We're not eating out at all week. And then that went pretty well. Now, I think the last thing I forgot to add was childcare. Yes, that would have been on the 21st. So let me write that in. And that was only $25. I did work overnight, so I just need someone to look out for the kiddos. So that would be light purple. All right, and then, oh, one more, the truck. The truck is a debt. Look at that, I messed up already. I'm like, hold on. This is supposed to be a debt as well. So let me do my little box. Y'all know I do a box if I mess up. Let's see. Yeah, that is supposed to be solar panels. And then so was the truck. That's supposed to be a debt. I'm talking about that's supposed to be solar panels. That's what it is. And then the last one was the truck. So that was our debt category. So I think we did pretty well. Now I am going to be doing the saving challenges, since we did get paid on the 24th, I am going to put $55 towards that. So let's go ahead and add that to the list. And I think I'm just going to, let's just do it at the end of the week, and we'll put savings. And that's just our saving challenges, and that'll be 55. And green is always a good thing. Okay. Whew, y'all, that was a lot, right? We have done our spending for the whole month. This is what she looks like, all colored in. And I will say, I think we did pretty decent. Most of these are blue, which those are things I can't control. We have bills we have to pay. We have to have lights. We have to have water. We have to have, you know, groceries. So that is good. Most of these transactions are blue highlights. And then we don't have that much for gas. I think we're pretty much getting gas one time a week, and it's just alternating between the two vehicles. So that's pretty good. So overall, I think we did pretty good with our spending for the month of February. So let's go ahead and close out the actual budget. And then we can figure out what we're going to stuff all of our envelopes with for the beginning of the month. So that'll be good. We'll be stuffing sinking funds and cash envelopes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with the income. Now, I did have a rollover of $3,966. Let's just double check. 3,900 right here. 3,966, so that is correct. That's what we rolled over. And then from our jobs, I just budgeted the bare minimum. I did not pick up any extra shifts. I was actually still on vacation when we got paid, or for the pay period that this paycheck was on, so that is good. So no surprises. I just used PTO, and I knew the checks would at least be $1,500 for myself. Now my husband, we also budget for him. That was $1,500. His check ended up being $1,627. And then my check ended up being $1,727. Now we do have to add one more thing. I'm going to put, this is going to be the other category. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, I was having issues with my homeowner's insurance. They went up, so we had to switch, but my mortgage company had already paid out the homeowner's insurance for the whole year. So I had to call the company, request a cancellation. It was just too much, and it wasn't that the company was bad and they were just increasing their prices. It's because we had separate auto insurance for my homeowners. Before, we had them together, and you get that discount. So since it was just a single policy, it wasn't working for us at that time, so I went ahead and canceled it. So I had to wait for them to mail me a check. So I'm going to include that in the income, just because I have to account for, as you can see right here, where I have to pay the escrow account or make a big payment towards the escrow account. So the check was only $1,700. So we did not budget for it, but it did come in. It was $1,700, and we just pretty much wait for that check, and we just deposit it straight into the checking account. So that is all of our sources of income. Okay, so we have $39.66, $16.27, $17.27, and $1,700. So we will be budgeting $9,020, and it is the end of the month, so we are going to make this a zero-based budget, account for everything. I don't want to roll over anything into the next month. So let's go ahead and write that total, $9,020. Now we're going to go over all of our expenses for the month. We did set aside our $590 to go towards the mortgage. The truck payment, we did $460. Pest control was $102. Life insurance came out at $136. The medical insurance came out $200. Our Sling TV was $44. No surprises there. Our internet bill was $129. Solar panels came in at $195. Our March setup, so you know how I said I wasn't going to roll anything over into the next month, but we still need to account for next week is not a pay week. So I do need to have money set aside to set me up to make sure I'm able to cover all those bills and give her some pocket money and stuff all of our envelopes. So I'm budgeting $1368, and that is exactly what's going to be $1368 that we will leave into the account to budget for next week. Now, escrow. So this is the one that was on budget. It's not such a big, it's not a big deal, even though it is $1951 and we only got a check for $1,700. They did our escrow analysis and redid everything for the upcoming year. So I have to account for our property taxes went up a little bit. And I like to, so I don't know about you guys, I like for my bills to stay pretty much the same, or if not cheaper. So I did not want them to add that into my, what do you call it? I didn't want them to add that into my payment. I want to keep the payment the same. So we'll see. I have to call to finalize all of this stuff, but basically I kind of just said, just go ahead and throw all of this into the escrow so I can kind of count for the shortage or what the bills will be this year. So it ended up being $1,951 that I am going to have them take out. So I will call them tomorrow. I just wanted to budget for it. It is going to be the actual amount that I am going to actually pay into escrow to cover the new homeowners insurance plus the shortage from the analysis that they just did. So our analysis is for our new year, which is always in April. So I just have to call them before the month is over with to get all of this situated and like official. But anyway, I have that money sitting in account for the escrow payment. Okay. Whew, y'all, this is going to be a long video. It's just so much to talk about. So let me go ahead and add all of these up, and then we'll move down to our cash envelopes. Okay, so we have 590 plus 460, 102, 136, 200, 44, 129, 195, 1368, and 1951. Okay, so our expenses is going to be $5,175. I'm going to write that right here. Now, I'm going to subtract the $9,020, and we are left with $3,845 to budget. So not bad. We have $3,845 left. So let's drag that down, $3,845. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our cash envelopes. So there's no surprises here. I did 125, 50, 85, 20, 20, 20, and 20. So our cash envelopes ended up being $340 for the week. Okay, I'm going to take... Okay, there we go. We can see now. I always have to look up. Okay, $3,845 minus $340. We are left with $3,505. I'm going to drag that over here to the sinking funds, $3,505. Okay, so this is where I kind of decided to add a category. And honestly, it's going to be two categories. And I'll talk about the other one once we get down to the savings. But since I just separate them here from low priority to high priority, the low priority is where we added the category. So I'm going to put an extra $200 to the garden. And this is already accounted for what we kind of already spent. So it's going to go from $220 to $420. Right? And then this one is still $280. Okay. So let's add that up. 420 plus $280. No, I think I did that wrong. Yeah, I think I did that incorrect because it's supposed to be 600. So let me change the 420. We're gonna do 320. In my head, I was adding 200 to the garden envelope, so I'm gonna have to just check that after we finish the video. But you know, it is what it is. I will figure it out. So 600 is what it's supposed to be. So I'm only doing $600 in the sinking funds as far as the budget. So that will be that. Now I'm going to subtract that away from the 3505, 600, and then now we have $2,905. Okay, and then that brings this down 2905. Snowball will actually get the 2,000, yay. So we're gonna put 2,000 away to go towards debt, and then we are left with $905. Okay, so we have that $905 left. So I decided to start in the month ahead. Y'all remember we talked about that in the last video. I'm going to make it a sinking fund though. So moving forward, I am going to put it in the savings category, but it will be a sinking fund, right? Just because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep all of it in a sinking fund or if I'm going to keep it into the account. Well, I'll work out the logistics of it later. But as far as what I'm going to budget, the amount from this paycheck, $55 will go towards our saving challenges for this pay period. And I'm going to, let me see, minus 55, do 850. I just wanted to round it up. Okay, so not too bad, almost right on target. And then this should all equal 0. So we have the 905 minus 55 minus 850. And we are left with a zero-based budget. Awesome. And we have closed out the budget, which is great. This is the problem that was running into. Y'all remember? And I'm like, this is why I want to do weekly budgeting, because I just could not get a grip on why I had more money than what I said I did, and I didn't have enough money. It really wasn't working out. So now that I'm using the monthly setup and tracking it as a bill, so yes, I had to kind of like sacrifice money for 1 month just so I could have enough to cover in the next month. I did it when we had a really good inflow of income. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just take money. It's kind of like having a buffer, just to be honest, but it helped. So anyway, I'm rambling. It helped. Now I'm able to really see what I have left in my budget to go towards debt. So that is a plus. So what I'm gonna do now is write down all of my sinking funds so I know exactly how much I'm going to put in each category. Y'all, I'm back. I totally realized what happened when I was trying to do this and thinking it was $700. It's because when I did the budget originally, I was thinking about the garden, so I said $100, but when I actually started to do the garden, I needed more, so I did $200. So it is correct because one of those 100s were already included into the 220, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and wrote down all my sinking funds, the amounts, and the cash breakdown. And you'll see right here, the month ahead, I only have about $370 in cash that I can put into that envelope. The rest of it is going to be prop money because it's just reflecting that it's still in that account. So we'll figure all that stuff out as we start to prepare for that more and more. So I know this is going to be off from the 600. It's actually going to be 970, and that's just because of the month ahead is included into the savings and not necessarily underneath my sinking funds. I know I'm always confusing y'all. I'm so sorry. So this is going to be $970. Whew, all right, y'all, that's pretty much it. What I'm going to do is set up for my cash stuffing. I'm going to be putting $970 into the sinking funds and then $340 into our everyday cash envelopes. So that is going to be a total of $1,310 that we will be needing for the next video. Alright, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Y'all, we hit 4,000 subscribers today. I'm absolutely thrilled and want to say thank you so much for everybody who has decided to join my YouTube family. I appreciate your support. You guys are awesome. And with that being said, I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Bye.